You are listening to Single Smart Female.
This is us letting it all hang out for your love life, examining Steph's dating experiences and answering your hot topic dating questions. Just you, Steph, and me. No topic is off limits and no filters involved. This is Jen.
And I'm Steph. If you have a question about your love life that you would like us to answer, you can submit your question at singlesmartfemale.com.
Welcome, Single Smart Female, to show 57. I'm your host, Jen Burton, and I'm joined by my sometimes nice, sometimes not so damn nice co-host.
What the hell?
Steph. Hi, Steph. Please be nice. Please be nice.
Hi, Jen.
I'm just kidding. She's always nice. Kind of. Anyway, we are going to dive into our Single Smart Female listener question from Miss Ready for Love But Stuck.
And she writes, "Hello. I listened to your podcast and it has helped me through the last year of dating." Aw.
That makes me feel good.
Yeah. I'm a very motivated individual and always want the next step in my career and life. I have never settled for any relationship because I wanted the most out of my life. I did date a doctor who I thought was in a career to help people, but realized it was about the money and prestige, and I had to prove my worth to him continuously. He's still asking to hang out, but there's no way. I started Mantourage dating after him, and it helped, but no keepers. I was in a big workout stage in my life 3 years ago. I did a fitness competition.
Congratulations.
Did I mention I like goals?
Yes, you did, and we like that you like goals.
I dated my fair share of tall, dark, and handsome meth heads in my past.
I think that was meatheads, not meth heads.
Oh.
Not meth heads. She was not dating meth heads, Steph. I told you she's not so nice.
Meatheads. That makes more sense. That makes much more sense. Not proud of the meatheads, she says. I always had the bad boy syndrome over that. My friend introduced me to a very sweet man. Wow, was he hot. However, I was bored with his personality and no goals in life. We dated for a year and he got under my skin. I will always have crazy chemistry with him and want him when I see him. He was so sweet to me and would never be a player. He was always getting me gifts and thinking of me. He had a very hard past, as did I, and the drama from our childhoods came out to play in our relationship. We became toxic. He was diagnosed bipolar and is now medicated and not as emotional. My father was like that, so it scares the shit out of me. I have broken up with him and dated others. When the doctor broke my heart, he was there. When the stunt bike man broke my heart, he was there. I recently quit my career to build my own business, so I have a lot more alone time. I have not met anyone I am interested in, and he still has that pull on me. He tried to date someone a few weeks ago and told me he can't get over me. I have not slept with him for 8 months because I get attached when I do. Do I pursue something with him or try to cut it off completely? I want someone who's inspiring and is a partner in my ideas and dreams. He doesn't have that gene in him. He does, however, have the sweet, hot love gene. Eek! Help!
Thank you, Steph. I like the eek and help part too. She actually did write that, but yeah. I like Steph's twist on it.
Thank you.
It's very good. So, Steph, I actually want to push this on you and let you start. Yeah, I'm going to push it on you. Push it real good.
Well, I can relate to this one. Very much so.
Tell us more.
Okay. Well, I've been in both scenarios, right? Where I was with somebody who had a very exciting personality and kind of kept me on my toes in that way, as well as, very ambitious. That very ambitious and exciting personality man had other qualities that were difficult to handle in a relationship. When sometimes your ambitions take you in different directions.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've also been in the relationship with the guy who is extremely loving and thoughtful, caring, but doesn't have the same ambitions and banter with me as I'm, let's say, comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
And I struggle. There's like it's a trade-off in a way, right? Because that guy would feel like home, very comforting, a soft place to land.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to expect somebody to be everything for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel for you on this question. As far as the bipolar, I understand why that would frighten you, especially if you've had to deal with the negative effects of that in the past. It does sound like this particular gentleman has taken the appropriate steps to get help and get that under control. So I don't think that that's a thing that really necessarily has to hinder pursuing something with. I don't know.
I know I just totally put you on the spot here. But I like what you have to say about this. I'm going to talk to the bipolar part just a little bit more right now, because as much as we need to be aware of the mental illness that's going on in our country, you also have to recognize, if you do decide, before we start talking about any of this, if you do decide to engage in a relationship with somebody, you need to, being overly emotional is fine. But if he was somebody that got not periodically or even frequently suicidal or aggressive or things like that, I would actually caution. It depends on the level where his bipolar disorder took him, meaning what actually would play out. Did he put you in physical danger? Because at that point, I actually don't encourage you to keep dating him. And it's not that I am anti-mental illness. I am pro adored women being protected in life and I prefer the stable guy who maybe can learn to be more expressive than the guy that, has to be put on medication in order to not seriously hurt you. That does frighten me. And I think that's something that you should take into account, because as we get older, our brain chemistry can change and a serious situation can come up very, very quickly. So if he was never really truly dangerous with his bipolar disorder, I'd say yes, absolutely. If he's got it medicated, if he's got it under control, then fine. Yes, you're more than welcome to continue to date him. And in fact, what I was going to say, and I think where Steph was going with this as well, was that this is a guy that should be part of your entourage. I understand that you get very connected to him and you can actually put off the sexual part for a while, because a lot of us women, once we become physically intimate with somebody, we become emotionally connected to them again. But you can take things on your terms and see where he goes. Include him in your entourage, but make sure you include other men who do more for you in the ambition. So date a really ambitious guy.
Yeah, see what that feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's interesting, and I'm not saying that you won't like it, because you might love it. You might really play off of each other, which would be awesome. But you'd be surprised at the things that you wish that you could get out of the ambitious guy that you do get out of the. And don't get me wrong, if this guy doesn't have a job, that's not the kind of unambitious that I'm referring to. I'm talking about a guy that maybe doesn't want to, build an empire,
mm-hmm.
run his own business. Maybe he has a stable, steady job and
that he likes.
Comfortable with.
Yeah, he's comfortable with, and it's not making him miserable, because there's nothing worse than being with a guy that's miserable in all the other parts of his life.
Exactly.
So definitely, if he's already stable, I don't recommend at this point, although I think that there are great marriages that are based on the woman being the breadwinner. I don't recommend that being part of your dating. I don't want you to become exclusive with a man who has, he can't keep a stable job. He can't, things like that. He needs to be able to be consistent in that piece of his life in order to be a good long-term partner for you. And if you've always dated guys who make a lot less than you, then I encourage you to not only, go for the ambitious guy, but also date men who make closer to you and get yourself out of your comfort zone if that be the case, because it's time for you to explore who you are romantically. Now, let's talk about building a business, because I know a little something about this, and I know how nerve-wracking it can be alongside of dating. So it's really easy to try to lean into the man that is very consistent when, you're really putting yourself out there in another part of your life. And there's nothing fundamentally wrong with that, but if you are going to include this man in your life, it has to be amongst the talent that you are dating, not the exclusive guy at this point. Because then once you've taken and started dating these different types of men, you can decide at some point when you want to become exclusive with somebody, you have something to choose from. You have something to, say, hey, as much as I thought I would like the really ambitious guy, I think I prefer the comfort of the non-ambitious guy who's really hot and sweet and takes care of me. Elizabeth Gilbert said in Eat, Pray, Love, she was talking about, we're always looking for that just hot, tumultuous relationship that just burns a fire in you and that leaves you crying on the floor. I'm totally fucking paraphrasing everything she says because she didn't say it exactly like this. But sometimes you need a partner who's going to journey life with you and do it in a way that isn't chaotic, especially as a empire building badass that you are. Sometimes having that sweet, hot guy who's always there for you, who's your soft place to land, is exactly what you end up wanting to do life with. And you can find those other really hot pieces of your life in other ways as you explore this together. You have no idea what journey you guys can end up taking together. Now, I'm not saying that he's definitely the guy that you should be with, okay? Let me make that very clear. I do want you to consider, as long as has not been dangerous in his bipolar disorder. If he has been dangerous, I would rather you put that relationship to bed. But I would encourage you to include him in your mantourage, but you have to open the door to the other talent out there. That's super, super important. And this is really important as well, make sure you are being more proactive in your dating life, because as you're building a business, the chaos that can go on in that. You know that very well. There's a lot of things happening. And if you don't use your dating experience and be proactive in it and schedule out and not just do last minute dates all the time and all that kind of stuff, you're going to feel crazy, really fucking crazy. And then you're going to hate dating. You're going to hate building a business. Your life is going to feel horrible. And then you're going to run to this guy because he feels like the only thing that's consistent. And then you end up staying with somebody because you feel forced into the situation. And that breeds being bitter and resentful. And there's nothing sexy. You never feel sexy when you're bitter or resentful.
Today's show is sponsored by thecouragekit.com. Are you tired of meeting craptastic men, going on craptastic dates, and feeling craptastically inept at dating and love? Let us rework your dating experiences, single lady. Fun, pleasure, and magic included. No experience required. We'll see you at thecouragekit.com.
So, single smart female, it's time for my favorite segment. Updates on Steph's love life, or possibly life. She hasn't told me. I don't know what is going to be said right now. I'm a little nervous about all of this.
I wouldn't be nervous. It's nothing too scary. So, updates on my love life. Okay. I don't have any. Well, I have something. Just a fun little something.
What's that?
Okay. So the other day, I was, perusing through my Facebook, and this group of guys who I went to college with, they were friends of mine. They were in a band. They took a picture together and posted, like, the band is back together on Facebook. And I liked the photo, right? And
Indeed.
Indeed, I did. Yeah, I mean, seriously, haven't seen these guys in 10 years.
10? Okay.
Mm-hmm. And almost immediately, I got a private message from one of those guys. And he, just, hi, how have you been? Glad you're still a fan of the band. I'm like, always and forever.
You have my loyalty. I haven't seen you in 10 years, but you've got me.
Exactly.
You've got my heart.
Yes. And, we just started chatting on the Facebook. And he's just asking, what's been new? I think that's exactly what he said. I think he said, what's new? And I said, how does one answer that when you haven't spoken in 10 years?
That was a brilliant response, by the way, Steph. Brilliant fucking response. Because, yes. What's new?
And he's like, married, kids? I'm like, no. And then he goes, do you want to know something really embarrassing? And I said, yes, I would love to know something really embarrassing. And he goes, I had the biggest crush on you in college.
Ooh, is this getting juicy?
And I'm like, that is not embarrassing. And I said, and you should have asked me on a date.
Good for you. I knew I loved you for some reason.
And he was like, what? Like, WHAAT? Question mark.
Exclamation point, exclamation point.
And I was like, yes, sir. Absolutely. And he goes, I was always too chicken too because I felt like I would send you signals and you wouldn't reciprocate. And I was like, that's hilarious because I'm pretty sure I was flirting with you the whole time. Because I really did. This particular guy, I did have a crush on in college. And funny enough, he assumed that I wasn't interested. And I assumed that he was just a big flirt and didn't really pursue it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wasn't a major, well, it depends. But I was going to say I wasn't a major pursuer. I've never really been a major pursuer, but I'm not shy about letting a guy know that I like him.
Okay.
So I can't imagine why he thought that I
But
didn't.
you didn't really
I didn't really
realize he was interested in you?
No, to me, he was just a very flirty guy in general. And I'm a pretty flirty girl in general. So I guess I just didn't, because he didn't actually ask me out and he's a flirty dude, I just assumed that it was just, his MO.
Mm-hmm. And he was probably just nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Because even flirty guys get nervous.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
It was so crazy. And he's like, oh my God, I'm actually a little sad now.
Go, Mr. Band Guy.
I loved that so much. Yes, so that's a fun update, I think, on my love life. He lives in another state. I do not see any major romantic potential as of current, but it was pretty exciting to have that kind of a reaction from him. And
okay, so can I bring something up? This is I like that update because it actually leads into a more important point for women out there. We try to act coy sometimes and pretend like we don't enjoy male attention and all that. And I want to call bullshit. Just straight up bullshit. It is nice, even when you're in a relationship, to know that somebody else is attracted to you. Now, you don't have to cross a line and step and do anything with them. But I want ladies to really start to own the fact that we thrive in being desired by men. We enjoy that attention, and there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that about ourselves. And I don't want us, especially because we're successful women, we're ambitious, all that. I don't want us to pretend like that doesn't exist in us.
Yeah.
Because it does.
It does.
And when we pretend like it doesn't exist to us, we end up acting fucking crazy in other parts of in our romantic life undercover, and people don't know about it. But I've seen the most ambitious, successful women act batshit crazy. And it boils down to being able to own little things about that. It is okay as a successful, ambitious woman to acknowledge you like men to like you and you like that attention, and then know how to maneuver that attention and use it for good instead of evil. Mwahaha. But that's a really great update.
Thank you.
Mini update.
Mini update. Yeah. You know.
On your love life.
That's what I got so far.
Okay, lover girl, it's time for the final thought on today's show.
One man can't be all things to you. But if you take time to explore your romantic options before exclusivity, one man can be all the right things for you.
This is Jen.
And this is Steph.
Don't forget to subscribe to our show in your favorite podcast app, as well as share Single Smart Female with all of your single girlfriends. And if you would like to play around to learn more about Mantourage dating, come see us at havehimyourway.com.
Talk to you next time.